I was writing music for Fallujah, trying to like, in my head, I was like, we have to be as good as the big bands, or else no one will take us seriously or whatever. So I was really just pushing myself to make the best music I could with the brain I had or whatever. So kind of everything that I was doing guitar wise was just to get better to write music for the band or whatever. So I was getting
Mhm.
guitar lessons specifically to seek out tones and information on how I can make my music better. And my I kind of grew out of my uncle giving me guitar lessons, and he recommended me to a jazz teacher. And I kind of thought, okay, maybe like jazz is cool or whatever, but there's like things. I'm, like I don't like jazz music. I don't want to make jazz music, but
Mhm.
there's these really dark tones in there that, like, oh yeah, if I knew how to do that, I can mold that into metal music and make it all cool and stuff like that. And so I would go to my jazz teacher, and he would just kind of do what a jazz teacher does, and he says, get this real book, and we're going to learn these chord tones, and then you need to do dictation and transcribe all these like old standards or whatever. And I really put a lot of effort into that, because I'm hoping like if I get through all this kind of beginner stuff, I can start getting to all the weird dark tones. And I did kind of get into that and kind of chord progressions, but it never really connected to the way I wanted to do stuff with metal quite yet. So I kept seeking out teachers, and I even got lessons from Chris Story for a few
Oh,
months, and
Austin
maybe
Bears.
like 4 or 5 months. I would go to his place in Oakland, or I used to go to Soundwave Studios. Do you guys know Soundwave?
Yeah,
I'm sure
Yep.
definitely.
in Oakland. Yeah, we would go hang out there, and I was like young, and he's just like, I don't know, it was a trip to me. Like I was like, wow, this is crazy. And I would show him, like I literally showed him the solo in Epitaph, the solo in Stillborn One, and I'd be like, okay, here's Muhammad playing, and then right here it changes. Like, what is happening here? Why does it get so insane sounding? Like nothing I've ever heard before. And I did the same exact thing to my jazz teacher, and they would both just go like, I don't know, that shit's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's crazy, man. Let's practice this thing over here. And Chris was awesome. Like Chris helped me with my right hand. Like I used to play all backwards with my thumb because I have weird thumbs. I go like this. You know what I mean? So when I grab the guitar, I
I got the
naturally
opposite thumbs.
Wait,
I
so
can't go
your
back
it
at
just
all.
thumbs
goes.
What
sit?
is?
Well, how do they sit natural? Okay, they don't sit like that
Okay,
naturally.
naturally they kind of just sit like that. But when I
Yeah.
You have a
squeeze
toasting thumb.
things,
Oh
yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Okay.
So when I would squeeze the pick, I
They
would hold it like,
hyperextend more than normal. Yeah.
yeah. So he fixed that back to normal. So and then he also taught me all my kind of like base level, how to become proficient. Like he showed me, he was basically getting lessons from Rusty Cooley while I was getting
Oh
lessons from him.
shit.
So I was just getting
Wow.
watered down Rusty Cooley information or whatever, which I was totally
Nice, dude.
cool with.
The
But it still didn't.
rusty
Yeah,
trickle down, dude.
dude. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that guy insane. But it was still like I still was like, fuck, I want to know how to do this necrophagous shit. And then Christian Munzer, who wrote those solos that I really like, he just came out with music with Obscura, and someone was like,
Mhm.
dude, the guy from Necrophages in that band. Like people knew that my friends knew that I liked Necrophages, so they were telling me, yo, he's in Obscura. I said, fuck it, and I just messaged him on MySpace, like, Christian, yo, dude, I've been trying to learn your music for so long. Like, do you teach guitar lessons? And I was just too stupid to read his bio. His bio literally says, I teach guitar lessons. Hit me up here. Or whatever. He's like, yeah, of course, man. And so that was when I was around 17. It was like 16 or 17 that I started getting lessons with Christian. And that's really when everything kind of went to the next level. And it happened as I was making Fallujah's first album. And that album is completely influenced by what Christian was showing me. And he essentially took his solos that I really liked and just broke it down like, okay, like, yes, there is a method that I'm using. And I'm like, oh shit, there really is I just like earlier I was saying with Mike Gilbert, like I'm hitting up Mike Gilbert, like, what were you thinking? Like, how did you choose those notes? And Mike is just like, I just did it. I'm just like, fuck, dude. Like, what? You just have to be amazing, I guess. Like, but Christian was like, no, this is what I do. I take, like, when the rhythm guitar is playing this, maybe it's playing the lower part of the chord, like the 1 and the 5. Like I extend it by playing an arpeggio that plays the 5, 7, and the 9, or maybe I'll play the 7, 9, and sharp 11. I'll give this Lydian sound. And I'm like, oh, dude, this guy's using like jazz fusion stuff. So he explained all this, and we went. It was like a 2-year period, and we would stop when Obscura would go on tour. It was like right during Cosmogenesis, and he was breaking down all his solos from that album, like Universe Momentum and Anti-Cosmic Overload. But yeah, essentially showed me how to do that, and then showed me where he got those techniques from, which was fusion guitar players like Greg Howe. Greg Howe was the biggest one. He's instantly was just like, you need to go listen to Greg Howe and listen to Introspection and Parallax, and just
Okay.
like I just listened and I got obsessed over those albums.
Why have I never heard that name before? Greg Howe.
Greg Howe? Oh, dude,
Is
I
he
think
from another
might-
band, or is he just a solo dude?
Well, he's just solo dude, but he did kind of make a name for himself when he played for Michael Jackson back in the day. He did a tour with them.
You ever heard of him? Michael Jackson?
You
I
ever
heard
heard of
that
this
guy.
man?
Was that Janet's brother?
Yes,
Yes,
brother.
Janet.
Okay.
Janet's brother. Yes,
Got it.
dude.
Yeah, who's that?
But yeah, I don't know. And so he got me into the fusion world of guitar, and then that's kind of where I've kind of I think that kind of leaves me where I'm at kind of right now. It's this kind of like metal that really wanted to sound like Necrophagist. So asking Christian, he showed me fusion guitar, and then to me that's like the pinnacle of like music on guitar, being able to like comp chords and improvise and like whip out chord tones whenever you want, and like impose like chords on the upper structure of chords and give off these like interesting alien like sounds. And that got me into Alan Holdsworth. And
Sick. Yeah.
yeah
I can hear it in your playing for sure. It's dope.
That's
Yeah.
literally.
That's
I
awesome.
say
Yeah.
that I know about fusion, and then I just cite McLaughlin,
He's awesome,
fucking
man.
Holdsworth, and Mahavishnu Orchestra. Those are the three things that I say, and I'm like, dude, yeah, I know about fusion. Dude.
Yes, dude.